Sometimes life feels unbearably heavy. You wake up and even the simplest tasks feel like mountains pressing down on your chest. The world moves on around you. People laugh, conversations flow, the sun rises and sets, and yet inside, it feels as if nothing holds, nothing comforts, nothing makes sense. There is a hollowness, a quiet despair that seeps into every moment, a sense that even the things you once loved no longer reach you. You notice the passage of time and the signs of aging in yourself and those you care about, and the mind whispers judgments you cannot stop, small accusations that sting, that measure that say you or others are not enough. Grievances you thought released resurface, sharper than before, and the mind recoils, wondering if peace will ever come, if relief is ever possible. There is a feeling of untetheredness, a floating sensation where the body feels present, but the mind drifts, lost in its own weight. It is not just sadness. It is an unease that rises through every fiber of your being, a wave that threatens to overwhelm, a panic that the body sometimes expresses when the mind is too full. You might long for connection, for the comfort of someone who understands, yet it seems impossible to find. Even moments spent with loved ones feel hollow, as if the joy that once existed in shared presence has been dimmed. The mind judges, measures, compares, and then sinks deeper into sorrow, noticing everything it perceives as wrong, incomplete, or fading. It is a heavy awareness, an almost unbearable clarity of the separation that seems to exist between you and the world, between you and what you long to feel, a tension that curls around the heart and presses on the chest. You move through your day, still breathing, still functioning, but with a sense that something essential has gone missing, some invisible thread that once connected you to meaning, to ease, to a sense of belonging. The mind reaches for reasons, for fixes, for anything to hold on to, but nothing stays. And just when it feels as though the weight might never shift, something almost imperceptible begins to move, not outwardly, but deep within. A subtle cracking, a faint tremor that hints that even this heaviness is not the end of the story. There comes a point when even the pain starts to shift. Not soften, not yet, but stir. Something inside begins to tremble beneath the surface, as if a hidden structure is loosening. It's disorienting, almost frightening, because for so long you've clung to the edges of what you thought was stable. And now, even that is crumbling. The thoughts that once anchored you start to feel foreign. The stories that once made sense begin to sound hollow. You look at the pieces of your life, the habits, the relationships, the rituals that once defined you, and they no longer fit the way they used to. It's as though you're watching the outline of who you were dissolve, and there's nothing yet to take its place. The body feels it too. The exhaustion deepens, but it's not the same kind as before. This one feels ancient, as though you are carrying the weight of years of pretending, of keeping the mask intact, of moving forward when every part of you wanted to stop. You start to sense that what's breaking is not you, but what you built to survive. Still, it feels like destruction. It looks like failure. It sounds like loss. The people around you may not understand. They see someone unraveling, someone who has lost direction, someone whose spark has dimmed. But what they can't see is that this unraveling is precise. It's stripping away what was never truly you. There are moments when the mind fights back, clinging, pleading, trying to rebuild the old scaffolding. You might chase old distractions, return to old identities, reach for anything that can make you feel solid again. But none of it works anymore. The comfort you once found in being who you were no longer exists, because that version of you has outlived its purpose. And so you hover here, between worlds, no longer belonging to the old and not yet claimed by the new. It is a terrifying in-between, a liminal place that feels endless. But somewhere in the background, even if you can't name it, something watches quietly. Something within you refuses to turn away from this undoing. It's not hope. It's not faith. It's not light breaking through the clouds. It's simply the beginning of truth, raw, unsentimental, indifferent to your timeline. A quiet knowing that what's falling apart is not the end of you, but the end of pretending you were anything other than this. And though that witness feels distant, its stillness carries you forward into a deeper trust you can't yet name, into a passage where endurance becomes grace itself. And then one day, you begin to notice that the ache has layers. What felt like one wall of solid pain begins to show cracks, faint outlines of something underneath. The despair, the judgment, the exhaustion, they are not random. They are the surface tremors of something deeper being dismantled. What you called yourself is losing its scaffolding. The old meanings, the familiar measures of worth, the reflex to chase comfort, all of it is coming undone. And yet it feels as though something precious is being taken from you. You keep thinking, I'm getting worse. But what if what feels like worse is only the sound of the false shell breaking? What if the heaviness is not a punishment, but a shedding? You might remember moments from your past that once brought you joy, and now they feel hollow. People you once leaned on now seem distant, unreachable. The things that used to define you, your successes, your opinions, your plans, no longer hold. It's disorienting, almost cruel, to watch the world you built in your mind lose its color. But this isn't a failure of life. It's the unraveling of illusion. There comes a point on this path where the familiar is stripped away faster than the new can form. You reach for meaning and it slips like water through your hands. You try to fix, to make sense, to return to what once worked, but nothing fits anymore. This is the empty space between dying and being reborn, though no one ever told you it would happen while you were still breathing. You might think, if I'm losing everything, what's left of me? And the quiet answer, the one you don't want to hear yet, is what is real. The shedding is merciless, but not cruel. It takes from you only what was never truly yours. The ideas of control, of status, of being special or broken, of being loved or unloved, all the labels you carried like oxygen, are being burned away in the light of something you can't yet see, and so it hurts. Because everything in you that believed it was real is fighting for survival. The ego doesn't die gently. It clings, it screams, it bargains. It says, I can't go on like this. And it's right, it can't. The part of you that's crumbling was never meant to last. But the awareness that's watching, the one that sees the crumbling, that has never been touched. It was there before the striving, before the pain, before the name you answer to. It's watching even now, calm beneath the storm of everything you think you are. You want to escape. Every fiber of your being is urging you to run from the heaviness, to claw your way out of the pressure that seems to crush from inside and out. You tell yourself, I can't do this anymore, and yet somehow you're still here, still breathing, still searching for words that make this bearable. That searching itself, that fragile reaching for something beyond the pain, is proof that not all of you has been swallowed. What hurts most is not that you're weak. It's that everything false is falling apart and you don't yet know who you are without it. The grief isn't only about what has gone wrong. It is also about what is being stripped away, even if it once felt like safety. The mind can't comprehend this. It thinks in terms of loss, in terms of failure, in terms of how do I fix this? But there's nothing to fix. There's only what's ending and what's quietly beginning beneath the noise. You are not being punished. You are being undone. And in the undoing, something ancient in you, something that never left, begins to stir. It doesn't come as a burst of peace or wave of understanding. It comes as small, quiet endurance. The kind that holds you through the next breath, the next hour, the next trembling night. The kind that whispers, you have survived every moment so far. You will survive this one too. And maybe that's why these words found you. Out of every possible thing you could have been watching, somehow this appeared, maybe not by accident. Maybe because something unseen in you, something that still believes in light, reached out and guided your hand here. You didn't miss it. It met you exactly where you are, because it's what you needed to hear. You are not alone in this. You are not strange for feeling broken. You are not failing because it still hurts. Others have walked through the same invisible fire, people who also believed they had reached the edge, who also thought peace was for someone else. They too trembled. They too screamed quietly in rooms no one else could see, and yet something carried them. The same something that carries you now. You don't have to name it or understand it. You only have to let it move you. You don't have to be patient. You don't have to be graceful. You don't have to pretend that you accept any of this. You just have to breathe, ragged, imperfect, human, and let the unseen current keep doing what it has been doing since the beginning, carrying you forward, one trembling moment at a time. And when your mind whispers that you're alone, remember this. This message right now is proof that you are not. It found you in the exact moment it needed to. That's not random. That's grace, quiet and unspectacular, arriving disguised as coincidence. So stay, just a little longer. Stay with your breath. Stay with this tiny thread of connection between you and the words. You are still on your way home. You're still being carried, not by effort, not by will, but by something vast and wordless that has never forgotten you. And though the pain may not lift tonight, something has already shifted. You heard what you needed to. You were reminded of what you forgot. You are not lost. You are still moving through, and that truly is enough for now.